It's tough. You never want to see injuries happen, first and foremost. You hate it when it's to anyone, let alone, the third season-ending injury that we've seen this year. But like I told our team at halftime, look, yes, we've been dealt a crappy hand, but we got to play it.
The WNBA is facing turbulence once again, but this time the issue goes beyond disputed calls or aggressive plays. The focus has shifted to a far graver concern. Stephanie White's recent update on Sophie Cunningham's season-ending injury has rattled the basketball community, and the sheer gravity in her voice signals that this could be the breaking point for a league that has long struggled to protect and support its players.
The news is about to drop, so we're okay to talk about this, but I did tear my MCL. And if you're going to hurt your knee, that is like the best possible case. And so, this year, just as a whole, like, I think the league as a whole, but really us, we've just gone through so much adversity, and then injury-wise, it's just been like, you can't make this shit up, to be honest. And so, during Connecticut's game on Sunday, I was just in the paint trying to be help side, and someone ran into my knee, and it just snapped, and knee injuries are weird to me. Like, I don't really like thinking about them, but I felt a pop right away. And
the harsh reality can no longer be overlooked. Injuries have relentlessly haunted the Indiana Fever this season, and now the situation has hit a critical low. The team's defensive cornerstone is out with a torn MCL, ending her season and bringing the total to 4 Fever players sidelined for the remainder of the 2025 campaign.
I play dirty in this league. It's absolutely ridiculous. These players are paying a price for Kathy Engelbert's incompetence. Doesn't seem like a fair trade-off, if you ask me. Sophie Cunningham will miss the remainder of the season after suffering an injury during our game at Connecticut on Sunday. In a corresponding move, we have signed guard Shea Petty to a 7-day hardship contract and released Kyra Lambert. Now, folks, Sophie Cunningham is out for the season. My question is, what kind of adjustments should the Indiana Fever make? What kind of adjustments does Stephanie White have at her disposal? What kind of adjustments is Stephanie White capable of to help this team make it to the finish line?
If you're enjoying this content, don't forget to subscribe. The news of Sophie Cunningham's season-ending knee injury has become the breaking point for Indiana Fever supporters, who have seen their championship hopes unravel under a relentless wave of injuries. When head coach Stephanie White confirmed that Cunningham would miss the rest of the 2025 season following her MCL tear in Sunday's matchup against the Connecticut Sun, fans' frustration and disappointment hit an all-time high.
Actually, the Indiana Fever didn't even report what the knee injury was. They just said that it would be season-ending. However, Alex Filippo, she reported that Sophie Cunningham did tear her MCL and that she would be out for the rest of the season, but she is expected to make a full recovery before next season. So obviously that is good news. And when you talk about tears in your knee, an MCL is one that has a quicker recovery period for the most part than something like an ACL, or sometimes even meniscus can be longer than an MCL. A patellar tendon obviously is much more severe than all of them. So it was good news relatively, that it was an MCL and not anything more serious.
4 players out for the season. Let that really sink in. The Indiana Fever now have 4 athletes officially sidelined for 2025, with Caitlin Clark still out indefinitely due to a groin injury that has kept her off the court since July 15th. This isn't just a string of bad luck. It's a glaring example of systemic failure in a league that has done little to curb escalating physicality and inconsistent officiating, which have fueled this wave of injuries. Cunningham's loss hits especially hard. She had become a linchpin for the Fever, averaging 8.6 points and 3.5 rebounds per game while posting career-best shooting splits of 46.9% from the field and 43.2% from three-point range. After season-ending injuries to McDonald and Coulson on August 7th, she had stepped into a makeshift point guard role, carrying the team through a critical stretch. Now, Indiana has lost both their defensive anchor and a key veteran leader at the absolute worst possible time.
I told you guys the day of the game that she was done for the year. Now, So everybody that was jumping in my comments like, oh, you're clickbaiting, you don't know. No, I knew it was over. I knew. So now the Indiana Fever have officially come out and let it be known. This right here is by Underdog WNBA. It says Sophie Cunningham diagnosed with torn right MCL per Chloe Peterson. And this is awful news. This is just awful.
The ripple effect of these injuries is staggering, with Caitlin Clark still sidelined by her groin issue and no concrete timeline for her return. The Fever are effectively running a skeleton crew. On her podcast, Sophie Cunningham revealed that even Clark doesn't know when she'll be back, describing it as a day-by-day process focused solely on regaining gained shape. What makes this situation even more maddening is the WNBA's inaction. The league refuses to address the rising physicality, inconsistent officiating, or the players repeatedly engaging in dangerous plays. Instead, they allow the cycle to continue unchecked, while top athletes keep falling victim to injuries.
You had Sophie Cunningham, one of the best shooters, if not the best shooter, coming into the second half, shooting the lights out, right? Just absolutely dominating on that perimeter for the Indiana Fever and looking like a player that could actually help the Indiana Fever get far into the playoffs, be that X factor for them when the energy is down, they are getting blown out, or whatever the case may be. They can't even find a bucket. Sophie Cunningham was one of those players to actually get them going. And now all of a sudden, no Sophie Cunningham. I mean, I don't know how many more blows the Indiana Fever can actually take and survive, man. I mean, they done lost every